How's it going, JDM crew? John here from JDM EXPO, showing you some of the finest of JDM, goodness. Well, got another R32 here. If you guys are tired of R32s, you might want to check out some of our other videos, since there's plenty of other good stuff here. But yeah, we do have another one. So yeah, this is actually pretty interesting, quite original for the most part. Not completely untouched. There's a couple of small mods, but that's it. OEM interior. Sorry, again, dealing with some traffic here, so. But yeah, the interior for the most part, other than my steering wheel and this audio deck, the rest is OEM. We got like a vent over here that, the little blades that are supposed to be, changing the direction. Well, that one's broken, so it'll probably be replaced later on, or it could be as is. Just it's a little bit hard to get some components when it comes to, especially the R32s. Even though Nissan is making some components again, which is great. If you guys remember that announcement a little while back. But everything else is like pretty awesome. We got 101,000 kilometers on the clock, just 101 and a half. So yeah, I got the OEM gauges and everything. As you can see, we even have the OEM triple gauge here, and this visor got unclipped somehow. Yeah, just side panels, the vinyl, everything's in pretty good shape with no cracks and all that. So the engine bay, you guys might be surprised because most of the stuff's OEM. We have a air filter, which is the it's not a replacement, it's just a they didn't get rid of the box. It's actually just a drop-in performance air filter, so that's there. Got an exhaust from Blitz. So all around, the performance is pretty close to OEM, just a little bit more opened up. We got an aftermarket suspension, we got iBox springs, and not sure what else though, but it is nice and firm. Yeah, it's kind of like the OEM drop-ins, and it's a little bit better. Not a complete overhaul on that, so just some nice upgrades. The seats here, holding me down here, is OEM R32 seats, so the usual GTR seats. As comfy as you would expect them to be. Interior is in pretty good shape, as I was mentioning. It's mostly OEM. It's got like the slightly older smell from like the vinyl and the fabric, but it's not a bad smell. It's just the older smell. Like some of you guys that have owned R32s, you know what I'm talking about. So I mean, it's not even masked with like a bunch of like sprays or anything. It's just stock, chemicals or whatever. The paint's in pretty good shape, which I'll show you guys in a little bit when we're at the warehouse. Just clear coat's in pretty good shape. There's just like a couple minor areas, which I don't even know if the camera will even pick up, where it just kind of slight, fade, but not really, It's just the condition of that would probably buff out if I polish it up. But for the most part, like, it's in pretty good shape. Just like a couple minor nicks here and there, but like no dents. Not sure of the repair history. It doesn't seem like it'd gone through anything. But yeah, I mean, just all around, very smooth running also. Like I said, the power difference is not very different from stock. It's just a little more opened up. But since we still have the clutch fan and everything, and like, still feels, to me, I would say it's not as responsive, but it's a good time. It's still really good and reliable. Oh, and we do have cross-drilled brakes, so as I was slowing down there, you could hear no squeak or anything. Very smooth operation. So if you guys were bringing this to a track day or something, it's already ready. So, and definitely if you wanted to go further with the upgrades, there's plenty more where that came from. And if you're interested in that, just hit up our sales team and they can answer your questions on that. There's all sorts of options. Yeah, you can get whatever you want, certain parts, or if you even wanted it tuned at a certain shop, we could probably get that arranged, since we have worked with a number of shops across the country. So just so you guys are aware about that. AC is running real strong here. I'm kind of curious if they had it recharged, because it's doing real well. definitely helps. Well, alright guys, I'll be at the warehouse. Let's just fast forward to that. I'll show you the exterior and let's jump into the engine bay so you can kind of see where it's mostly original. You know, we got strut bars and other stuff like that, so let's jump over to that. Well, here we are starting off from the interior. As you can see, upholstery's looking pretty good. And it just has an old smell with all the vinyl and the you know, upholstery. So something that's pretty common with a lot of these 100,000 plus ones. It's not a bad smell, it's just you can tell it's older. The vent there is gonna need a replacement. We'll probably be trying to source a part pretty soon, but the other vents are intact there. And yeah, some of the older plastic is just very brittle. So we got the original little, it's got the oil temperature, battery voltage, and the boost gauge there. So it's not like the most responsive boost gauge, as some of you guys that have already driven R32s would know. But yeah, for the well, as you can see, climate control and the audio system is relatively newer. It's a mini disc and radio, AM/FM radio. So that's there, and kind of miss having a mini disc player, but that's a lot of you guys might not remember those. And we'd have this personal racing wheel here with the mounting kit and everything on there. So it's not quick release, it's just there. And there we go with the mileage there, about 101,000 kilometers, so about 60,000 miles ish. OEM cluster, so looking good. All right, and I'll step out here. Oops. So you can see the yeah, just older carpets, pretty much OEM for everything else besides the steering wheel and the audio deck. As you can see, no sag in the headliner there. Good old classic season. We got some tint on the windows, so if you guys can kind of tell, it's a little bright out there. So here we go. So just in the rear, so it is legal probably in most territories. Alright, and I'll go pop the trunk here, and as you can see also, the texture is definitely the OEM goodness there. And as you can see though, this gunmetal is looking really good. For the most part, it's really good. There's I think just some very minor, I don't even know if you guys can even see that slight coloration between certain areas, obviously from the years of driving. So clear coat, for the most part, it's pretty good. You can see really good shine all around. We do have aftermarket exhaust here from Blitz. This is a Nurspec. Pretty good flow all the way to the back. Mellow tone, not too loud, which is good. And here you go with that trunk space, pretty nice there. We got the strut bar in the back, and so you can tell that is aftermarket because they did cut into the carpet there to make everything fit nicely, but it looks good. And of course, you have this carpet here. And the spare tire. Everything's looking pretty good back here. Got some little sound deadening pads there. There you go. Yeah, it settles in there nicely. Easy close. Didn't even have to slam it down, just gently locks into place. As you can see, the OEM wheels there. We have cross-cholled rotors all around. And of course, might be able to see the suspension there. Oops, trying to get that to focus there. We got iBox on the springs. I'm not sure about the dampers. Sorry for the glare there. Sorry guys. There it is. You can kind of see the... Alright, here we go into the engine bay. And as you can see, it's for the most part OEM-ish. It's super clean. I'm not sure if they had this as original or if they had refreshed this, but yeah. Even the intake plenum's pretty good there, so I think they took pretty good care of it. Here's some numbers for those of you guys interested. Yeah, look it up on your favorite registry for some of the specs. And as you can see, yeah, we do have a strut bar here. And HKS super filter, so it's an OEM style one. And they have a couple of other service stickers on there. OEM radiator from Calsonic, so yeah, a lot of good stuff on here. Pretty much OEM. So just opened up for a little bit more flow with a high performance air filter in the stock location, in the stock airbox, so it keeps it nice and quiet. And that exhaust, as you can see, they kind of just darkened everything up to keep it nice and clean. So even for the intercooler, keeping the just upgraded suspension, a little bit of chassis stiffening components there with the strut bars, intake exhaust, well pretty much just air filter and exhaust, so yeah, just a bit more efficient. Just make sure to hit up our sales team, info@jdm-expo.com. If you're curious about the process or if you're looking for something else, they got you covered and they'll be able to answer your questions there. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all DMs will go to our sales team. They'll get back to you within about 24 to 48 hours. You know, they do get pretty busy. And as of course, as things have been opening up throughout the year, and you know, deliveries have been getting a bit smoother. Even EMS mail from Japan, so it's just pretty much more container availability. So shipping and stuff is getting a bit smoother. So for those of you guys, I know prices have been pretty wild. There's definitely a lot of videos out there on there. I haven't really been able to take the time to tell you guys all about that or make a video or something like that, but there's just a lot of market dynamics right now because yeah, here in Japan they are just as popular. Actually, it has grown in popularity over the last few years because of the popularity elsewhere. People are revisiting a lot of these classic cars, so it's getting tough. So as more newer models become available, there's a lot more competition globally, as there is interest from all over the world for these classics. So I know a lot of you guys love Godzilla, but we'll keep trying to get them to you wherever you are in the world. So as I said before, they'll be able to answer your questions at info@jdm-expo.com. So we do have a couple more videos on the way. We've got some more glorious AutoZams and another MR2 and a few other cars, S14, another couple Skylines. So yeah, more videos in the works, and I'll see you guys in those in the near future. So take care, and I'll see you next time.